I first want to give you a warm introduction. I mean, I'm so excited right now to be on this webinar with none other than the man, the myth, the legend himself, someone who has spent so many decades just focusing on and studying plants and herbs. And, you know, Dr. Kang, you're a shaman healer. You're a naturopathic doctor. You are herbalist, and you've spent so many decades studying this. And your ability to be so effective in your approach to really impacting people from a physical and even a spiritual and mental standpoint has, in my professional opinion, been an interesting game changer. And I think for that reason, you've been obviously featured on some of the biggest platforms on the planet, CNN, ABC News. You've been on Huffington Post, the Wall Street Journal, and you work with some pretty big names, some pretty, influent people take your product that are some of the biggest people in the world. And so I really just want to talk to you right now about where did all this start and, the driving force behind your ability to want to impact people in such an effective way.
Where do I start? Well, this all started from when I was a child. My grandfather started this whole thing, and that's why it's named Grandpa's Secret. I'm just giving tribute to my grandfather, the one and only teacher, my guru, my everything. And my grandfather was a healer. He was a shaman. He was born into a family of healers also. Father was a healer. His grandfathers were all healers. And he was born into this family. He never chose this path. This path chose him. And, when they say you're a shaman, you don't choose it. You're chosen. And it's very important. You don't go to school to become a shaman. It's only, I've heard people go to school to become shamans. But when you see one who goes to school to become a shaman and one who's chosen to be a shaman, you can always see the difference. And so my grandfather was a shaman. He was a healer. And he understood plants like I have never seen anyone on the planet. I've met a lot of healers, but I've met very few people who understood plants like he did. If you give my grandfather any herb, any plant, any leaf, he knew exactly what it did to the human body. No question asked. So people came from all over the world, and he healed them from, you name it. You name the incurable, he healed them of it. So he had this gift. People came from Europe, from England, from Australia, from US, and he was the guy people came to. And he was passionate about what he did. And he lived the life. And there were rules and regulations that were set in place on how to live as a shaman. And very few people actually practice these things as of today. So this is where I got a lot of my inspiration. Before my grandfather died, before he died, I was called into a meeting, almost like an out-of-body meeting. And they put some herbs together and they gave me to eat. And when I ate this, instantly I woke up, I knew everything what my grandfather knew. I didn't have to start to read or whatever. I knew everything my grandfather knew instantly. And so this is how my journey begins. Yes. They call it the initiation into shamanism.
And so do you think that your grandfather knew that you were chosen from very early on?
He knew it. Yeah, but no one in my family knew it. Yeah, my grandfather knew it. And so I see why the connection we had together, why it was the way it was. Yeah.
I love that. That's interesting. And I love how you touched on the fact that you have to be chosen, because what you do is in fact such a spiritual gift. And as I was going through some of the testimonies that are on your website, the fact that you make people not only have mental clarity, spiritual clarity, but you also in fact take what they're going through and you heal whatever it is that they are dealing with at that time. And for so many reasons, I don't understand why we don't practice the natural ability that you obviously have with your products and everything else. So we're going to get into that in just a little bit. But take me through the process of someone actually contacting your office and coming to you. What does your process look like?
Okay. Well, normally I want to see them because looking at you, I was born with a sixth sense. I don't know if Justin told you. So looking at you, I can tell some few things about you just by looking at you. And I'm not asking you, I'll be telling you. I know what is happening to you. I know what you're dealing with, and I know what you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time I want to see them maybe on a video chat, if they maybe not in my state, maybe out of the country. Most of the time I want to see them I want to be able to see them maybe on a video like this. So when I see them, I'm able to evaluate what all is going on with them. And after evaluating what all is going with them, most of the time they're literally confirming without them telling me anything. I'm able to pinpoint what all is going on in their body.
Wow.
And after that, I'm able to put something together, craft. Yeah, I'm able to craft something together specifically for them. And this is my method.
That is very interesting. That's not duplicatable. That's for sure, Doc. It's very interesting. And so when you are looking at them and already
after we're done with this video, if you want to put me on a test, please, I would love for you too.
Listen, I believe you. I completely believe you. So let's get into really what the remedies look like. I mean, you definitely have a list of so many products that do a number of different things. And, I saw on there, you have weight loss and you have, seizures and you have, cancer and tumors and, brain health. And so can you break down a little bit of what that actually is, the science potentially behind it, not really science, but the remedy behind it. And then also, let's use me as a test dummy right now. Let's just say for me, I want to know more about the weight loss aspect of the product that you have. What can you share with me about that?
Okay, well, there's a science, there's a madness to what I do. And most of the time, people will come to me and they'll be like, oh my God, this is a lot. Oh, why is it like this? And because my protocol is not what most people are used to, but we get result. I can tell you maybe 100% of people who've taken that stuff, we've gotten 100%. Everyone. We've never advertised, we've never marketed. Everything is word of mouth. So, for example, if you wanted to lose weight, what I recommend is that sometimes, why did you gain weight? Why are you gaining weight? Are you stressed? Are your hormones off? Is your diet bad? We have to address all these problems. For example, if your diet is bad, we try to, come up with a program that you can follow. If you're stressed, I'll try to put herbs together that can reduce your cortisol level, your stress level. If you have a hormone problem, we try to fix the hormone, and then we put all of this in. We recommend some of the, like, a liver and gallbladder, because most of the time, if someone is gaining weight or they're overweight, sometimes when liver and gallbladder is dirty, they can't lose weight. So we want to purge out the toxin in the liver and gallbladder and the kidneys. Sometimes their blood is dirty, so I recommend a blood detox. Sometimes they have a lot of heavy metals in their system. Okay, great. I'll recommend a blood detox. And then, if you're trying to lose weight, depending on how much weight you're trying to lose, craft, a weight loss, and I'll put the whole package together, and you'll be on your way to losing weight.
That is very interesting and pretty amazing at the same time. As I'm sitting here talking to you, I don't know what person in their right mind would not take action and buy your products for even just for basic health reasons, basic health reasons. And so I want to just get into the aspect of what you provide from a tumor cancer standpoint. I was very intrigued by reading that on the website and having the conversation with my aunt this evening. It really drew me to want to find more out about that process.
Okay, well, I mean, let's look at understanding disease is very simple. Me in particular, I've infected myself with HIV, with every virus. I'm not scared of disease. I'm not scared of cancer. As a healer, it's very important, because most people, they're scared of the name. For example, when we say cancer, when the body, when you cut yourself, the body must heal itself. You catch a cold, the body must heal itself. This is a law in the universe. When you have cancer, for example, breast cancer, what happens is there's something called the soldier cells. These are like the police cells in the body. When there's cancer that is polluting the body, these cells, they run into the body and they trap all this toxic and hold it in a lung so it doesn't kill you, so you don't die. This is what the body does. So if you have a cancer lump, it simply means your body, the cells are doing their job. That's all it is. So sometimes we panic. Oh, they can be like, it's stage 5, it's stage 6. Those words mean nothing. It means nothing. My wife, the doctors gave her 2 years to live, and she's still here today. I mean, she's not the only one. We've had people over and over, so many people whom doctors have given a few days, a few months, a few years, and they're still living. And my main thing about healing is to give people the confidence, the belief system that the body is always looking for ways to heal itself. By evolution, it's looking for ways to remove toxic, it's looking for ways to remove pollution. So when we understand this, so the first thing as a healer, I don't see anyone as being sick. This is rule number 1. You can never see anyone as being sick. I see them as being whole. So when, for example, you have a mom, a sister that is sick, you want to hold the space for them for healing. You're holding space for them because at this point, we've been so indoctrinated, we've been so brainwashed that, hey, if you have this, you're going to die. So due to conscious, programming, dead, cancer, dead, HIV, dead, we don't know any better. Because this what happens to the cells, because we have been programmed so much or whatever, instead of them fighting, they just surrender, they give up. Because it's called the collective placebo effect, where you talk to something, it's like raising a child, like you're a monster, you're a monster. One day they live up to that expectation and going to school and killing everyone because the parents, they spoke it into being. And then you find another child like, oh wow, you changed the world, and then the child ends up changing the world. Same the human body, because cancer has been given almost like the collective placebo, that, oh, if you have it, you'll die. Oh, if you have HIV, you'll die, or whatever. So these people, so the cells have heard it so many times. Cancer association, dead. HIV association, dead. Herpes association, dead. So the cells have been programmed that, oh, if you hear this, dead. So what happens is when the doctor says that, whoop, the will to live is gone. So these people begin to die. I don't care if someone has cancer and their will to live is so strong, they must live. The reason why we're here is because we have a will to live. If your will to live, you take 2 people. One person has cancer, the other person also has cancer. Same, stage 5. One says, poor me, this is going to kill me. They die in 6 months. Another one like, I'm going to fight it till the end. So they meet a doctor who screws them over or whatever, takes their money. They're like, I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep looking. Then one day they find a Dr. Kang. And I'm like, I show you how it's done. And then we kick the cancer in the butt.
This is incredible. So let me ask you this. Why in the world would, it blows my mind then that doctors will sit there and diagnose someone with a certain time frame to live, make them go under some type of radiation and other things that I don't know what they do, but radiation, without seeking someone like you with the right effective remedies to help them live.
I don't know neither.
We're going to change that. How about that?
what, yeah, this is the world we live in. You know, we've been indoctrinated, we've been programmed, and the world has lost its soul. We become soulless beings. You know, money has taken the place of compassion. And when money takes a place of compassion, you know, human beings they start doing anything for money. And because of my upbringing as a shaman, the way I make my money is very important. It's very important. And the way you make your money should be very important. And one thing a lot of people don't know, that there's karma. You know, there's karma. And there's no doctor that will give another patient a drug that will kill them, and that same doctor will not one day be on the receiving side. This is a universal karma. Most people don't know this. You know, you can't kill as many people and have a peace of mind. You can see it around. You just need to begin to study. No one talks about this. There's no doctor. Whether they do it out of ignorance, then the same ignorance will go around and it'll come back to them. It's just a law. It's just a universal law. But nowadays, if you say this, you know, you're considered crazy. Yeah.
Wow. That's heavy stuff, Doc. Heavy stuff.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how and why your products are so effective. Like what really makes them so effective? Is it the fact that they are herbs and it's your concoction together, or what really makes them that effective? Is it just the fact that this is the most healthiest thing for us and we're just not doing it? You know, what is it?
Well, just like I said, there's a madness to what I do. There's a science behind the compounding method that I use. And most of the time, doctors will come to my grandfather and they're like, oh, moringa, ashwagandha, and my grandfather will say no. And my grandfather would say something like this: come outside. How many plants do you see outside in nature? And they'll say, a lot of them. I can't count them. I can't count the trees. He said, why are you taking just one? So what happens in formulation is that most people are using 1 to 5 herbs or 10. My formulas, I use my least formula has 33 herbs in them. My highest formula has 101 herbs in it. So for example, due to evolution, maybe when you were a plant, at some point, every human being was a plant. This is what my grandfather, shamans, we believe. When you were a plant, you argued with moringa. You had an argument with moringa. And moringa says, when you become human, I'm never going to ever work for you. I'm never going to be able to treat you. And so this lifetime, moringa is never working for you. Just because it's a plant that everyone is talking about it might not work for some people. So what I do is I take all the plants that are within the moringa range, the superfood, I put them all together, over 30 to 40 to 70 of them. So the chances that moringa might not work for you, it's very, very slim. This is the sense of compounding very few people do not know. So if there's so many plants within the formula, at least one will do its job. You don't just put 1 or 5 or 10. You have to go beyond the scope. There's so many. Even living in America, most people, they're just eating 30, 40 variety of different things. But there's so many, that hundreds of thousands of different kinds of plants and foods. There's a variety. And they're all for the healing of the nation. Does it make sense?
It makes complete sense. It makes absolute sense. Oh my God, my mind is blown right now, because you're so right. I have seen so many people taking one plant or one thing, and I remember when you have the asparagus and you have the moringa, and they're like, this one thing is going to work for you, and the fact is that that one thing is not going to work for everyone. And that if you bring it together and you bring all of these other super plants and herbs together, then that 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 are going to work in that person's favor at the same time, which then creates that compound effect. I got it.
Great. It's called a synergetic effect. And another thing we do also is that we use sound and light alchemy. I'm an alchemist. We use light and sound alchemy. So when we get the herbs or whatever, they come powdered. Some come, in fresh leaves. We powder them and we put it on a dial mat. We play sound, high vibrational to them. It plays 24/7. And we use high vibrational light, very high vibrational. We play it. This is the magic behind my formula. So what we do is we impregnate the herbs with sound and light. 24 hours worth of sound and light. And after it's formulated, when we have them in the bottles, 24/7, there's sound and light exposed to it still. This is the magic and this is the alchemy, the madness behind Grandpa's secret.
Let me tell you something. This is the most intriguing, the most fascinating conversation I have ever had in my entire life. And the way that you have broken down, first of all, I've read the book The Alchemist. I totally understand. And the fact that you have created this alchemy within that product, within the bottle, within the plants, in the sound and the vibration, that to me it's like hearing magic.
Yeah, and I'm going to add this. And once you are frustrated or you're mad, you can't even go into my lab. Even the guy that helps me, you have to. The question: am I happy today? How am I feeling? And if the answer is not, I am joyful, I'm happy, you can't go in. I just tell him, if you're not happy, you have to go home, because this is people's life. This is energy. Yeah. Yeah, this is energy.
You have opened my mind to new ways that I've never even thought of when it comes to effective healing. I've never, and the fact that you make them stop if they're not in that good vibrational state is so important, because as I believe, as what you're saying is that the way that you vibe and what you're feeling is exactly, it's energy. It's all around you, and negativity attracts negativity. People say misery loves company. And I've guarded my inner circle and in my mental state and my energy very closely. If I feel someone's vibe is off, I go near them, because I need to operate at a higher energy level for my own sanity and my own happiness myself. And so I find that you bring that into the healing process, and that is very fascinating. And yes, it's very interesting. And I'm glad that we were on this, because knowing this information, I don't see how everyone will be running. Can you just put that bottle up, camera? Can you, the bottle? Look at that. Be limitless.
Be limitless.
Be limitless. Yes.
And yes. We mean that. Be limitless. Yeah, Justin will tell you. That's why I let him try it. Yeah, but when people try it, everyone asks me, did you make this? I said, yes, I made it. And they're like, wow, this is incredible. Yeah.
So do you have a pill, a bottle there that allows me to be limitless, like the actual movie? Yeah. Because can I get one?
Yes, I do. I do. Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, you can.
Great. Okay, Justin, I'll give you my address. Just send me the link and I'll buy it in a heartbeat. So now that you've really gotten into the formulation, the alchemy aspect of it, I want to just talk about maybe the impact that some of your customers have had on you, because I was watching one of the testimonials, and it was a young lady, and she said he literally, he not only healed me, he healed me mentally and spiritually. And so I'm sure that you have impacted and healed a lot of people, in some situations maybe a lot more extreme than others. How has your customers impacted you, if they have? And then how, and what was the worst case scenario that you've seen someone in and then come out of it based upon your healing?
Well, as a shaman, and I love what I do, and I was born for this work because I was chosen for this work. I'm a servant to the people. Yes, I must serve. If I don't serve, I cease to exist. It's very important people understand that. Shamans are people who must serve the people, with humility. So for me, I take so much pride in just serving. I will be the one who washes the people's feet. I want to be the one who takes the garbage out, do the housekeeping. Not a leader, not anything. I just want to be the one that makes life a little bit better. How many people have a better life because I live? This is my work and this is my dharma. Until I do this, I find no peace within myself. And so for me, my clients or my customers or my family, they're the ones I wake up for. Sometimes even going to bed, I dread to go to bed because I'm like, I can't wait for the morning. Who can, just to serve one more person. And Justin will tell you also, one of the works I do is every weekend, every Sunday, I'm on the street with the homeless people. This is something I must do as a shaman, is that I must do unto the least among us. I must serve them. This is how I keep myself grounded. Yeah, I've been doing it for over 9 years. I must do it. Yes.
That is so powerful.
Yeah, so when you said, I have to do this to the least fortunate, because once I do this, it keeps me, instead from here, it keeps me at the heart center. Yeah.
Yeah. That's powerful. That's powerful. It's that what you said, it's, if I don't do this, I don't exist.
Yes.
That's powerful. I'm a little speechless, Justin. You've been studying this for decades and you have this science down. Is at any moment, are you discovering new ways or new herbs or new plants or whatever it may be to add into what you have going on? Or do you just have this down to the point where the science, the herbs or remedies that are effective are going to work, and there's no reason why you should try to reinvent what's already working?
No, I'm constantly a student. As they say, no one knows all. I'm constantly a student. I'm always looking. I go to stores. I'm always looking, reading labels to see what people are doing and how they're doing it. And I'm asking questions. How can I make things better? Before we had a blender that will blend the herbs in let me say, in 150 grams. But I discovered that if we blend it in maybe 100 and maybe 200,000, nanograms, that it's more absorbable. So I'm always looking for ways to make it more bioavailable to the people. So when they take it in, so I'm always looking to improve things and add things, to make that everything is. I'm a perfectionist. I say that. Yeah.
That's incredible. So as we get to the tail end of this one-on-one or plus Justin, so 3, let's talk about the product line itself, because I really wanted you to dive into that. You've given so much information that is so powerful. Let's just dive into the product line itself, because I want to know more about that.
Well, I have over 2,134 formulas I've developed.
Whew.
Yes. So where do I start? Well, right now we have a total of 5 formulas that we've literally put in bottles. But the other ones, we can make anything and everything. The custom blends that we make. But we have these ones with mass produced it because the demand, it's high for it. So we decided to make 5 as of now. But maybe in a month or 2, we'll have 10 products in bottles. but we have a total of 2,000 and something formulas. And one of our best sellers, the Super Cleanse, is the Super Cleanse. The Super Cleanse has the highest amount of herbs in it. It has a total of 101 herbs. What it does is it just cleans the whole body, like nothing you've ever tried. You know, normally people tell me I've tried this kinds of cleansing, it didn't work, but Justin will tell you once you try the Super Cleanse, it's, trust me, people they call it God in a bottle. That's the name they've given it, God in a bottle. It works magic. Yeah. Really? So for the 5, we have the Super Cleanse, we have the liver and gallbladder. We have the liver and gallbladder, just like the name. It purge out the liver and gallbladder, you know, cleans it all out. Due to environmental toxin, the food we're eating, you know, the air we're breathing, you know, we're constantly exposed to so much toxin, you know, and most of all of this gets dumped, you know, in our liver and gallbladder, you know. And then we have the survival, which is also our inflammation. You know, there's just one cause of disease in the world, and it's inflammation. Inflammation, mucus, you know, when you have cancer cells, what makes the cancer to grow? They're eating something, you know, and what they're eating is, it's yeast, is, you know, it's the white flour, the bread, you know, the things. They have to eat something to grow. And most of all of this turns to inflammation. So when you reduce the inflammation in your body, then there's no disease. Everyone knows that. It's just one cause of disease, and it's inflammation. If you remove all the inflammation out of your body, you're good and fine.
What an education I just got.
And then we also have one of our formulas that we developed. It's called the Fat Flush. And the Fat Flush focuses on removing the fat, the stubborn fat, like the fat. A lot of women, you know, they have problems, you know, the love handles. People are having problems, you know, to remove. The Fat Flush, that. But what we always advise people is that, you know, if they're trying to get healthy, they should try to take all the 5. These 5 products will do maybe 90% of most problems people are having. It will help them with 90% of most problems that they have if they just take these 5.
Wow.
And then we also have the superfood, the multivitamin. And what it does is, because when you detox, you remove everything. You strip the body of the good and the bad sometimes. So the superfood and the multivitamin, what it does is it replenishes the body, puts back all the minerals, all the essential, you know, minerals that the body needs. Yeah.
That is incredible. Yeah. That is incredible. That is incredible. So, I mean, honestly, as I'm sitting here, Justin, I'm ready to buy all 5 right now. You know, I just got a wealth of knowledge that I literally did not expect, and I want to thank you for that, for sure. I want to thank you for sure. Okay, so I'm here. I go online. I get the product. What happens after that?
Well, you receive the product. You know, we will ship it to you, and the recommended dose. What we tell people is that you take 2 morning, 2 afternoon, and 2 evening. You take it until the bottle is finished. Yeah.
Now, if I'm taking all 5 at the same time, for example, it would be 2 per bottle, right? So two per bottle. So 2 in the morning, 2 afternoon, 2 in the evening. And then how long does each bottle last?
It will last you 2 weeks. 2 weeks. It has a total of 100 capsules. But for people that are just taking it to maintain their health, it will last them for a month. But these are people, they might be sick, you know, they might have, trying to lose weight, they might have some problems, high blood pressure, diabetes, you know, they should take 2 morning, 2 afternoon, 2 evening. But if they're just trying to maintain their health, they can literally just take 1 morning, 1 afternoon, 1 evening.
That's perfect. And so after they take it, what are some tips, or what kind of lifestyle would they need to, like lifestyle change, or what tips can you provide? Well, there has to be some type of change, right? So,
great. Well, I always tell people to try to eat as healthy as possible. And, you know, normally when you say this, everyone knows what healthy is. you know, everyone knows what healthy, and everyone has what healthy is to them. You know, so I always tell them, but the way the products are made, I just tell them, try to eat as healthy as possible. They're made in a way, whether they eat right or they don't, it still works very effective. But if they do eat right, you know, it works even better. Yeah, because I know it's hard to change people. You know, people used to eat in a certain way or whatever, and you know, so sometimes you can't change everyone. So that's why we decided to put the kinds of herbs, and where we put them together is that is effective for everyone. Whether they eat bad, they eat steak every day, they eat shrimps every day, it will still work for them. For myself, I'm a vegan or whatever, and most of my friends, you know, they're also vegans or whatever, and they know what healthy is.
So, Dr. Kang, thank you so much for sharing all of this insight and information with myself and the audience that's going to be receiving this. It has been truly an honor and very impactful. Now, I know that this is not just where you're at. I know that you're going places, and there's other big plans, and there's other things you're doing. So what else do you have going on in the near future that you can actually share with me?
Well, I have a total of 10 books, but I'm about to release the first one. We just finished writing it. We're doing the editing right now. It should be out maybe in 2 or a week time. I'm also in the process of creating an energy drink. I won't mention the name of it. An energy drink. So I just came back from the lab. I was using a friend of mine's lab to formulate this drink, and we're almost done. This weekend, we're actually going to be doing a test party for the drink. In 2 to a month, we should have the drink out in the world. And the way this drink will be is, it will be so healthy that if you just drank 2 a day, you don't have to eat, especially people that are trying to watch their weight. They don't want to eat often.
Wow, that is awesome. So there's so many things that you're going to do, and I feel very excited about everything you have on your end and how it's going to change the world.
And I'm also developing new formulas. I'm developing a formula for malaria for the African market. Yeah.
That's impressive. That's exciting. Well, I want to thank you for being here with me and sharing all of this information. I'm excited not only about your current products, but the future products, and obviously your book and the drink and the new formulation that you're working on right now. And I, foresee this to be very, very, very big, bigger than what it is now, huge, gigantic, and the ability for you to really impact and change so many people's lives is just an honor. And I'm just so glad that you're here with us. So I want to thank you for that.